Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you just weren't enough? Not pretty enough, smart enough, successful enough, or have you ever chased people who barely chose you just to feel worthy? That quiet ache of never measuring up comes from a story you didn't even write, but you've been living in it. Self-love begins where comparison ends. You stop trying to be someone else and start being there for yourself. When you love yourself right, you stop begging others to see your value. Ready to rewrite that story? Let's dive into 8 truths you need to hear. 1. The moment you love yourself right, everything shifts. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop settling for less. Because now you see it clearly, your peace is too expensive to bargain with. Your energy is too sacred to waste. And your heart? It deserves the same kind of love you so freely give to others. 2. You stop chasing love when you realize you are love. The need for external validation softens when you validate your own feelings. The desperation to be seen fades when you truly see yourself. That's when you become magnetic, not because of how you look or what you say, but because your energy becomes peaceful, grounded, and whole. People feel safe around someone who is safe with themselves. 3. Loving yourself right means walking away from what hurts, even if it once felt like home. It means not waiting to be picked, but choosing yourself every single day. It's not easy. It will feel unfamiliar, even lonely at first. But one day, you'll look in the mirror and realize you no longer need to chase anything, because you've become everything you used to seek. 4. Have you ever chased people who barely chose you, just to feel worthy? Maybe you lowered your standards, ignored your boundaries, or begged for attention that should have been freely given. The truth is, when you don't feel enough inside, you search for validation in places that only leave you more empty. But what if the love you're desperate to receive from others is actually the love you're starving to give yourself? 5. You don't need to become someone else to be lovable. You don't need to fix yourself to be worthy. You don't need validation to be complete. Loving yourself right isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about staying when things aren't. It's about being on your own side, even when your mind tries to tear you apart. That's when real healing begins, not in perfection, but in acceptance. 6. You've spent too much of your life waiting to be picked. By friends, by partners, by family. And every time they didn't choose you, you took it personally. You thought something was wrong with you. But what if their inability to see your worth had nothing to do with you, and everything to do with them? Loving yourself right means understanding that your value is not up for debate. It was never meant to be proven, only lived. 7. It's not selfish to put yourself first, it's survival. You can't keep pouring into others from an empty cup. You can't keep breaking yourself to make others comfortable. Self-love is setting boundaries and sticking to them. It's knowing when to say yes to growth and no to guilt. It's not loud or flashy. Sometimes it's simply choosing rest over hustle, silence over pleasing, truth over comfort. 8. We've been conditioned to earn love, not receive it. From an early age, many of us learned that love comes after achievement, after you succeed, fix your flaws, or meet expectations. This belief gets wired into adulthood, and we carry it into relationships, constantly trying to prove our worth instead of living in it. And when we're not chosen by others, it feels like a reflection of our own value. But here's the truth. Someone else's inability to love you deeply is not a verdict on your worth. So, what does loving yourself right actually look like? It starts small. It's in the moments you say no, not because you're rude, but because you matter to. It's in how you speak to yourself on bad days. It's giving yourself the grace to rest, the freedom to feel, and the space to grow without judgment. Self-love isn't about thinking you're perfect. It's about refusing to abandon yourself just because you're not. Ready to start? Start with one small act today. Maybe it's speaking up for yourself. Maybe it's journaling instead of judging. Maybe it's just telling yourself, I'm doing my best and that's enough. Healing doesn't happen all at once. But every time you choose self-respect over self-rejection, you grow stronger. You've spent long enough proving you're worthy of love. Now it's time to give it to yourself, without conditions.